Welcome back to Send Crypto. In today's content, I'm going to update TRON and ZILLIQA price action, right? We're going to start off with ZILLIQA, right? So as you can see on the screen, right? If you've been following me the last 5-6 weeks, just about like the first week of last week of February and then the first week of March, I said like ZILLIQA going to be very bullish. ZILLIQA, Dash, AION, NEBLIO. I made a special video. I'm gonna put a link just about this area so you can go and watch it. So just click this area to watch that video, right? So ZILLIQA, Dash, NEBLIO, and AION, they're gonna be very bullish and they're gonna take over the last, the last 2 weeks of the month, right? ZILLIQA, Dash, NEBLIO. So to start off with ZILLIQA, right? I said like ZILLIQA gonna be making this wave 3 up and a very impulse wave to the downside, get a correction, right? A possible break it, a fake out, and a move to the upside, right? How I knew ZILLIQA gonna make this wave, right? I've been saying it since ZILLIQA was just about this area. So I said it because XLM made the same wave. So same wave, same bottom formation on the R side, right? XLM made the nice triple bottom on the R side, break it, right? Made a very impulse wave and come back. So ZILLIQA is making the same way, so it's no coincidence. Like I said it, like even before it happened. So it's not like I'm surprised about this move, right? So what I'm expecting from ZILLIQA from now on, I'm expecting ZILLIQA to be able to make a 1.618 extension of this wave, right? We already made a 1-to-1 extension, right? So you really take a look at it, it's already a 1-to-1 extension. So let's see, it's already a 1-to-1 extension, but since ZILLIQA is pretty bullish, at least like three straight days, a big start off before the move to the upside, come back, retest this area, you could be expecting a 1-to-1, a 1.618 extension, right? 1.618 extension. So that'll give you just about this area, right? 550, just about 540 to 550, right? Sats. So the current price of ZILLIQA is just about 500 sats. So you would be looking at another 10% move. The R side is pretty healthy, right? Exact same thing I said when I was covering ZILLIQA, POPULOUS, NEM, right? I said like R side gonna come back, make a U-turn, make a an accumulation move just about this area, come back, retest that area, and then move to the upside. Same exact move. So the reason why I said like R side gonna be making a U-turn and then accumulate, because I knew like once we get to this area, we're gonna come back to this area, right? And then we're gonna move, like make a sideways correction, for a couple more days, and then a move to the upside. So I knew the R side gonna come back down after we get this rejection from this 100 EMA. So I was expecting this type of move, come back, retest it, a very impulsive wave to the upside. So I like the way the R side is moving. It's it's facing up, a U-turn, a face up. We only can get like I would be expecting like at least a 73 to a 78 before next week, right? Before end of the week, right? The weekly candle gonna start like tomorrow, right? So the current R side level is just 64, so we got like 10 points to move. So that's a lot, right? At least for the short term. So ZILLIQA is pretty bullish overall. Looking for a 10% move. We're already up like 6%. Another 10% would take us like 16%, right? Move, right? At least for the short term. So keep an eye on ZILLIQA, right? The next coin we're gonna talk about is TRON. When you take a look at the price action of TRON, right? It's pretty interesting and then quite amazing at the same time. Everything I've been TRON just met my expectation. First of all, right, if you haven't watched any of my videos, right, when TRON was just about this area, like the first week of February, I said TRON gonna come back down to this area of 0.618. But as soon as we get to this area of 0.5 Fibonacci, I said like TRON most likely not gonna come back down to this 0.618, right? And I got a valid reason on my previous previous altcoin update, right? You can just go back just about this area and watch that video, right? So I said TRON not gonna come back down. Even if it come back down to this area of 0.618, it's gonna be a big wick. It's not going to be a selling pressure like for 2 to 3 days, right? It's just going to be a big dump to the downside, just like what happened to ZILLIQA, right? So, and then I said like Tron, the reason why Tron not going to come back down to this 0.618 is because we got a valid trend line just about this area. This green dotted line you're seeing right here was a previous resistance just about the when Tron was making this bottom formation. Most people are not paying attention to Tron at this time. So when Tron was making this bottom formation, this big resistance area is now acting as a support. You can see just about this area we got a nice support, and then we got another nice support just about this area of a 0.5, right? 50% Fibonacci, right? Retracement. So basically Tron has met all my expectation and what I was anticipating for Tron to do, right? So, and then I said like Tron gonna move up to this area of 100 EMA, and then Tron gonna get a big resistance from this area of 50 EMA, right? And that's what we're getting right now. We got a big resistance from this area of 50 EMA, right? So what I'm expecting Tron to do now, I'm expecting Tron to come back and pull back at least 50% of this wave, or it can even like lose all that momentum, come back like to 580 and 570, right? Sats. The current price of Tron is by 608, so we could see a 580 again, 576 Tron. And then if we go back to the RSI, right, it's pretty amazing, right? I said like Tron gonna make a very impulse wave outside this box, right? I can play that video just for a second, right? So you take a look at this area. If you go back and watch my previous Tron update, right, I'm just gonna play it for a second. The RSI is doing, right? So pretty nice bottom formation just about this area of the RSI. So keep that in direct what the RSI is. Come back, retest it, and make a very impulse move, right? So that's what I'm expecting at least for the RSI to do. And then if the RSI is going to do that, the price actually gonna direct what the RSI is doing, right? So basically that's what I said about Tron on my previous video. I said RSI gonna make a very impulse wave, come back, retest this area. So you can see this very impulse wave, right? So very impulse wave to the upside. So I'm expecting a nice correction from Tron now. So I'm not expecting this impulse wave to be like a vertical line all the way up to this area of 78 and so on, right? So Tron is looking pretty bullish. Double bottom, nice W formation, big breakout, come back, retest it for another 2 to 3 days, right? I'm not sure if it's gonna get into this area, right? This area, but at least it's gonna make some some sort of flat correction, at least for the short term, while the price most likely going to retest this trend line and another move to the upside. So keep an eye on Tron for April, for Tron to come back, retest, go back and retest this area of let's say I think it was like just like 800 sats, right? Sometime in April and May we could be retesting this area, and you would be looking at another 50% move to the upside, right? 45 to 50% move to the upside from Tron. So that's about it for Tron. The volume profile, I forgot to mention it, right? I like the volume profile just about this area. That's the biggest volume we just received, like that's the biggest volume, like the last, let's see, even bigger than this volume, right? So let's say the last 8 weeks, right? Almost, right? Last 8 weeks. So that's the biggest volume. So you could be expecting a sideways correction for another 4 days at least, right? Before the RSI gonna come back down, get more momentum, make a U-turn. As long as the RSI is starting to face up, just be ready for a very bullish, a really bullish momentum from Tron, right? At least for the short term. For 50% move, at least I'm expecting 50% move in April from Tron, right? 50% move. All right, if you like the content, let me know what you think down below the comment section. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and then you can go and watch the Tron previous price update. All right, thank you for watching.